Your husband got another woman pregnant. Pay me $200,000 in damages. You scum. On my wedding day, Tom suddenly burst into the dressing room with this unbelievable demand. He looked so proud, but he didn't realize how contradictory his demand was. Tyler, standing nearby, noticed too. Is that really true? Tyler asked. Yes, why would I lie? Now pay up for the damages. Tom insisted. However, we knew the story was a lie, and Tyler and I couldn't help but laugh at Tom's anger. I'm Aita, 34 years old, leading a pretty ordinary life. I have a regular job and was raised by average parents. My life was mundane, and I just went with the flow. Despite this, one major concern always nagged me. I couldn't get married. Most of my friends, colleagues, and even juniors at work were married with families. I often felt left behind, finding it hard to invite friends out on weekends because they were all busy with their families. I spent weekends at home watching recorded shows and variety programs, surrounded by empty soda bottles and beer cans, feeling a deep sense of emptiness. Will I be alone forever? The future scared me, but I felt it was pointless to act. It seemed unlikely any man would fall for me. I was almost ready to give up on marriage, living each day as it came. Then a turning point came. I got a boyfriend named Tyler, who was just a normal, kind guy. We met through work when he came to our company as a new client. Our conversations started off formal but gradually got closer until we started dating. One day, Tyler casually proposed, "Hey, let's get married, shall we?" Taken aback, I let out a silly sound. Looking at Tyler, who smiled gently, I accepted his proposal, truly happy. I had almost given up, but now I was about to marry a wonderful man. I was lost in the fluffy feeling of starting a new and happy life with Tyler. But I had forgotten something important. One person in my life was far from ordinary. My sister, Sasha. She's close in age and has always been mean to me. As a kid, she'd take my toys or hide my things. Even on my birthday, she broke my toy because she didn't get one. In elementary school, she'd spill juice on my homework or hide my pencil case. "Sis, where did you put the book I borrowed from my friend?" I asked. "A book? I don't know. Maybe you lost it. I feel sorry for your friend lending you stuff just to lose it," she'd say, smirking. I knew it had to be Sasha. When I pressed her, she reluctantly took it out of her desk and threw it at me, careless and indifferent to the fact that it was borrowed. Because of her rough handling, I had to replace things she broke or dirty with my own allowance. I stopped borrowing from anyone, but Sasha still used my stuff without asking and returned it dirty. Through middle and high school, Sasha's harassment never stopped. She needed to find something else to enjoy. I pitied her, but then, in my sophomore year of high school, she did the unthinkable. She stole my boyfriend. A few days before I found out, I couldn't reach him and was worried. Then Sasha started fiddling with her phone in front of me, smirking. Clearly, she wanted me to ask. "What are you doing?" I asked casually. "Guess what?" she said, smirking. "I don't know. Your boyfriend. He's cute, isn't he?" she replied, showing me a photo of her and my boyfriend, close like a couple. "Why?" I asked, shocked. Sasha just smiled smugly. "I took your boyfriend." "What?" I exclaimed. "I found him on social media and made a move. It was easy. I've liked him since he showed me his photo." I was stunned. He hadn't been in touch because he'd switched from me to my sister. "He's not someone who would just switch like that," I protested. "Then what's this?" Sasha proudly showed me their social media interactions. I didn't want to see it, but I had to confirm if her story was true. Reluctantly, I scrolled through the messages. There were messages of him saying he liked Sasha more and was leaving me. "No way," I whispered. See, he likes me, not you. So stop talking about my boyfriend now. Sasha's triumphant face left me speechless. I immediately called him. What's this about you dating my sister? I demanded. Well, yeah, he replied. Why? Because Sasha is cuter and nicer than you. No way, I was stunned. Sasha, nice. Impossible. I wanted to deny it, but the shock that my boyfriend chose Sasha over me left me speechless. Is that all? Okay then, I'm hanging up. Wait, bye. And like that, our relationship ended abruptly. Just when I had finally found a boyfriend, Sasha had to ruin it. I never thought she'd stoop so low as to steal my boyfriend, despite her history of harassment. She must really hate me, but why? I couldn't figure it out. I had talked to our parents about Sasha many times. They always scolded her, but I couldn't bring myself to tell them she stole my boyfriend. She must have known I couldn't talk to anyone about this. Sasha proudly introduced my ex-boyfriend as her new boyfriend to our parents and then started talking about their fun dates and plans to stay overnight together. She shared various episodes about her boyfriend, always making sure to do it in front of me. Our parents, unaware he was stolen from me, listened happily. Isla, don't you want a boyfriend too? Mom asked. Yeah, sure, I responded politely, knowing Mom meant no harm. Sasha, who flaunted her relationship with my ex, ended up breaking up with him in less than 2 months. I don't know the exact reason, but I saw her angry in her room, so they probably had a fight. He was the type to easily switch girlfriends. Maybe he cheated on Sasha too. After the breakup, Sasha became even more volatile, directing her anger at me. Why did you date such a terrible guy? He's the worst. You're the one who stole him, and now you're complaining. If you hadn't dated him, I wouldn't have either. It's all your fault. Sasha wouldn't listen. She couldn't be satisfied unless things went her way, and she took it out on others. I knew Sasha was difficult, but I couldn't let go of the boyfriend issue. Looking back, he was the worst, but at the time, I really liked him. I kept arguing back, which only made Sasha angrier. After the boyfriend drama, our relationship soared, and we barely spoke. Eventually, Sasha went to college and moved out, making our relationship neutral, neither good nor particularly bad. But then her marriage triggered her to start harassing me again. Her partner was Tom Johnson, whom she met at a mixer and later married. Congrats, sis, I said at her wedding, offering congratulations. I thought she'd be happy, but she mocked me instead. Isla, sorry for getting married before you. You should find a good man and get married too, though it's probably impossible for you. Even on her special day, she couldn't resist taking a jab at me. Seriously, I thought, I'm so glad I found a great guy. You should be thankful I invited you. I didn't even want to, but I thought our parents might say something. Thank you for inviting me, I muttered. Sasha laughed loudly, and I just felt embarrassed. I couldn't focus at the wedding, and I couldn't bring myself to feel happy for her. After the wedding, we barely spoke. I heard from Mom that Sasha and Tom were now living with my parents because their incomes were low, and Sasha insisted on moving back. 5 years after Sasha's wedding, I dreaded seeing them and only returned home for holidays. Before going to my parents' house, I told Tyler all about Sasha. She probably won't be rude to someone she's meeting for the first time, but if it gets too much, let me know, okay? I said. Don't worry, I can handle anyone, Tyler reassured me with a warm smile. I wanted to visit when Sasha wasn't there, but she insisted on meeting the man I was marrying. Trying to calm down, I rang the doorbell at my parents' house. Welcome, my smiling mother greeted us. We sat on the living room sofa, and I gently rubbed Tyler's tense back, trying to calm him. He seemed nervous, but I wasn't sure if it was because of Sasha or meeting my parents. Good to see you. We've been waiting. Finally, Isla is getting married too. I'm glad you found a wonderful person. My parents welcomed us warmly. Tyler's expression gradually softened, returning to his usual self. I hoped everything would end without incident, but then the living room door opened. Sasha and Tom entered, smirking. "Hey, sis." "Wow, he's actually a decent guy," Sasha said, sitting next to Tyler and entwining her arm with his. "Hey, Sasha." I tried to intervene, but she didn't listen. There are things you just don't do, even to your sister's fiancé. Tyler, looking troubled, introduced himself gently. "My name is Tyler Smith. I look forward to getting along with everyone." "So your name is Tyler," Sasha said, overly familiar for a first meeting. I couldn't hide my disgust and frowned. "Aita, don't make such a face." "It's rude," Sasha said, glaring at me. "Sorry, it's nothing," I reluctantly apologized, not wanting to escalate things. My apology seemed to please Sasha and Tom, who then bombarded Tyler with questions about how we got along, who proposed, and why we decided to get married. Their crude choice of words made me frown again, and Tom noticed. "What's with that face? You're already unattractive enough." "Stop it," Tom said harshly. He probably thought it was okay to talk to me that way because of Sasha's attitude towards me. Finally, with our parents' intervention, our visit ended. Tyler and I headed home. "Sorry for all that," I said. "It's okay." "Are you all right, Aita?" Tyler was concerned, and despite everything, he was smiling. I felt happy but also anxious about whether it was right for me to marry him. He was such a wonderful person. Didn't he deserve someone better than me? But I couldn't voice this doubt to him directly. What should I do? This question weighed heavily on my mind as our wedding preparations continued. Half a year later, having registered our marriage, we were about to have our wedding ceremony in a solemn hall. Looking back over these 6 months, my life had been miserable. Sasha, who had eavesdropped on a conversation between my parents and me, figured out where Tyler and I lived. Since then, she and Tom would barge into our house, drink, and make a racket. Despite my repeated requests not to come over, they wouldn't listen. "Why did someone like you even get married? Can't believe you're Sasha's sister. Why are you so ugly? It's embarrassing to have a relative like you," Tom sneered. I couldn't respond. "Say something," he shouted, startling me. I trembled as Tom continued his tirade. "You make me sick. I'm leaving." Every time he came over, he'd get mad and leave on his own. Tom was simply using me as an outlet for his stress. I thought if I endured it, it would eventually end. Even if we had our wedding, their behavior wouldn't change. Should we move? Lost in thought, the door to the waiting room opened. "Aita, are you okay?" Tyler asked, smiling kindly as usual. "Yes, I'm fine. Thank you," I replied. We chatted briefly to ease each other's tension. Just as I brought up a new topic, the door opened again. Startled, I turned to see an angry Tom and a tearful Sasha. "Your husband got another woman pregnant. Pay us $200,000 in damages, you jerks," Tom shouted. Tyler and I burst into laughter, and Sasha and Tom were dumbfounded. "Hey, what's so funny?" "This is serious," Tom yelled. "Is there any proof?" Tyler asked. Sasha told me. Tom replied, as if that settled everything. "If Sasha says it, it must be true," Tyler mocked. "Yes, Tyler got me pregnant," Sasha added. "How?" I asked. Sasha was perplexed by my question. Tom scolded me for being crude, but I wasn't going to back down. "Big sis, you have a condition that prevents you from getting pregnant, right?" I reminded Sasha. She awkwardly averted her gaze. "You blurted it out once when you barged into our house drunk. Tyler heard it too, so it's not a misunderstanding. You also told Mom about it, right?" "Let's check with her." Ignoring Sasha's attempts to stop me, I called for my mom. My parents, Tyler's parents, and other relatives who heard the commotion filled the room. In front of everyone, I boldly asked about Sasha's condition. At first, my mom hesitated, but upon explaining the situation, she confirmed it. Yes, Sasha has a condition that prevents her from getting pregnant. She told me herself, and I even went with her for tests because she was anxious, Mom said. She looked at Sasha and Tom with intense anger. "Sasha, why didn't you tell me?" Tom asked, visibly panicking. "Because I thought you'd leave me if I did. You love kids, after all," Sasha admitted. "But that's no reason to deceive me." "What are we going to do now?" Tom asked as they started arguing without apologizing to us. The scene was disgraceful. Sasha had lied to Tom, falsely accusing Tyler to extort money. "Why did you lie like that, Sasha?" "Well, answer me," my father commanded. "I needed money. I talked with Tom about pretending Tyler got me pregnant to extort money, and Tom agreed," Sasha admitted quietly. "What about proof?" "You need solid evidence to claim damages," I pointed out. "I hadn't thought about that," Sasha said after a brief silence. They had only thought of the immediate moment, nothing more. Just then, one of the relatives, my mother-in-law, spoke up. "Tom, you're cheating, aren't you?" The room became chaotic again. "What? Me? Cheating? Why would you say that?" Tom stammered. "I've seen you at the supermarket with a woman who's not Sasha, and with a child too," she replied. One shocking revelation after another came to light. "Is that true?" I asked, speechless. "Well, this is unbelievable," Tyler muttered. In her anger, Sasha tried to destroy some of the waiting room's furnishings. My father quickly intervened, and Sasha and Tom were eventually taken outside. The wedding proceeded normally, without them. Thankfully, the ceremony and reception went smoothly. After the wedding, I asked my parents to keep an eye on Sasha and Tom, but I wondered how long that would last. Should we move or consult a lawyer? I didn't know where to start, but I knew we had to act quickly. What if they barged into our house again like usual? They seemed to hold a grudge against us, and it wouldn't end easily. Later, there was no contact from Sasha or Tom. Maybe they settled everything without us knowing, but could something that convenient happen? One day, the doorbell rang. Tentatively, I looked through the monitor and saw an agitated Tom. "Tyler, it's Tom," I called. Next to me, Tyler looked at the monitor. He looks pretty angry. What's his problem now? Tyler seemed wary of Sasha and Tom. "I'll go talk to him," Tyler decided. "Really? Are you sure that's safe?" I asked, concerned. "We won't get anywhere without taking action. Stay hidden and be ready to call the police if anything happens," he said, handing me his smartphone before walking toward the front door. "Yes, what do you want?" Tyler asked calmly, while Tom started yelling excitedly. "Let me in," Tom demanded. "That's not possible." "We can talk here if you have something to say," Tyler replied. "Shut up," Tom shouted, and I heard Tyler's startled voice. Tom barged into the house. "Tom, what do you think you're doing?" Tyler asked. "Shut up. Your wedding has caused me so much trouble. If it weren't for that, my affair wouldn't have been exposed." "It's all your fault," Tom yelled. It seemed his affair had been exposed by my mother-in-law, causing issues with Sasha. "The problem is that you cheated in the first place," Tyler pointed out. "Shut it. What's wrong with having a bit of fun?" Tom shouted, knocking down furniture and decorations recklessly. "Hey, stop that. Call the police," Tyler ordered. We had no other option. I quickly dialed 911. In a few minutes, the police arrived to find the house in shambles with broken glass and water from overturned vases everywhere. The officers frowned at the chaos. "You actually called them. I won't forgive this. Remember this," Tom shouted as he was taken away. Afterward, the police asked us what had happened and then left. The house was in a terrible state. Tyler and I started cleaning up, sighing. That was the last time we spoke with Tom. A few hours later, my phone rang. It was my mother. I quickly answered, worried it might be about Tom. "Sorry, Tom did something terrible." "Did the police tell you anything?" she'd asked. Apparently, the police had contacted her to pick up Tom. She found him sulking and brought him back home. "Sorry for making such a strange request," she said. "It's okay. I'm sorry too. We were keeping an eye on him, but he disappeared before we knew it. Once you guys move, I'll tell him to leave the house immediately. If my parents kicked him out before we moved, he would probably start frequenting our house. I appreciated their concern and thanked my mom. We exchanged updates about our situations and the current state of Sasha and Tom before ending the call. Tom had calmed down, likely after being reprimanded by the police. Sasha, overwhelmed by Tom's actions, was quietly staying in her room. Their selfish actions had caught up with them, rendering them dysfunctional as a couple. It seemed unlikely they would reconcile, leaving divorce as the only option. My mom promised to keep me informed of any developments. Later, my mom contacted me about Sasha and Tom. As anticipated, they had divorced. Tom left quietly, but Sasha, claiming it was her parents' house, refused to leave. Her actions angered my dad. They had tried to frame us and extort money, continually lying about various things. My usually gentle father became so angry his face turned red, finally making Sasha realize the gravity of her actions. She decided to leave. Fortunately, by then our move was complete, and we were relieved. We hadn't shared our new address with anyone, so it was unlikely she would find us. Finally, it was all over, I thought. We didn't have to be afraid anymore. But the day after my mom's call, Sasha called me. Reluctantly, I answered, "Hey, Isla, how are you? I got kicked out, you know. I have no money. Can I stay at your place?" "Oh, you moved, right? Where are you now?" she asked. "What? Stay with us? What are you talking about?" I was furious. "Wait, are you mad too? I didn't do anything wrong. Are you still holding a grudge about the past? I can apologize for that. Let's live together again," she continued as if nothing had happened. "Can you stop making a mockery of me?" I snapped. "Holding a grudge? Of course I am. What about the wedding? You forgot your own condition and drunkenly blabbered on, then demanded money from Tyler for getting you pregnant. Stop joking around. You only use us when it's convenient for you. I'm embarrassed to even call someone like you my sister." Before I knew it, I had let out everything I had been holding back against Sasha. Do you understand how I feel? If you do, then don't ever try to involve yourself with us again. The line went dead with a click. It was finally over. I didn't care anymore about not receiving an apology. She should never involve herself with us again. I felt satisfied just having said what I needed to. Half a year after the turmoil, Tyler and I were living a normal life. Although thinking about those times still upset me, I was happy we had effectively cut ties with Sasha and Tom. The only regret was not getting compensated for the furniture Tom destroyed, but I didn't want to initiate contact with them over it. In fact, our home felt more serene now. Despite everything, being with Tyler and enjoying our simple life brought me immense happiness. I was just grateful for the normalcy we had now.